As always, any and all cars I show you here, well, 95% of them are for sale. So if you're ever interested, shoot me a message and I'll give you the contact information to Bob. Great guy, by the way. So let's go ahead and get to work. What's up, everyone? Today we're down at my favorite salvage yard, and it's called Adler's Antique Autos. Now there is a bunch of great things in here, and a little while ago, if you remember, we were going to be building a 318 for Randy at Auto Auction Rebuilds for his 59 Corvette, and he was able to actually sort out a lot of problems. So he's more interested in keeping the original engine and keeping it as quite original as possible. One thing he did want to do was make it a little bit more exciting, and the biggest part is converting it from a 2-barrel to a 4-barrel. And those poly engines have a very interesting design, and they can actually produce quite a bit of power. Problem is, not a lot of people do a lot of stuff for it. So aftermarket intake manifolds for that are pricey. We're talking, I mean, $500 would be cheap. Let's put it that way. However, I've talked to a lot of Mopar guys that deal with the older stuff, like the old Polys and Hemis and stuff like that, and they were saying that a 331 Hemi, which I just happened to know where one was, will actually fit the bill. Now inside here, we will find that it has a 4-barrel carburetor. Now, that right there is absolutely fortuitous. That means we can pull this engine, and eventually we can build this engine up to a 354 and really have a lot of fun. But for now, we have to focus on our current goal, which is pull this engine out, get the car intake manifold off, and do a few modifications to make it breathe a little bit better and get it into Randy's engine, or on Randy's engine. So let's start moving things around and get that engine out of there. And just like that, guys, we have one cool find. Look at this cast iron pan. I mean, can you get any cooler than that? I mean, it's pretty cool. It's very cold, at least. In that sense of cool. All right, so you can see one thing we are going to have to do is increase the plenum size. Not a big deal. A little bit harder with cast iron over the aluminum, but there it is, guys. We have a lot of work to do. Get this thing sucked out of here. And I've never actually dealt with one of these before, so I don't know what I'm really getting myself into as far as what's behind the engine. I'm assuming it's pretty standard, and I am very excited that this is a 331 because, like I was saying, we can bump this up to a 354 and, you know, supercharge it. As far as I can tell, it looks like the pan going underneath it looks like it's in really good shape. I think it's a great find, guys. These weren't overly powerful stock, but they can definitely be made to be powerful. All right, enough talking. Let's get to work. So now that we got the radiator out of the way, the next big question is, now, mind you, we're only here specifically for this intake manifold. The least expensive route I can go, and we get an engine out of it. This engine is a very big unknown, and I am hoping she does spin over. Now, if we grab onto this, I would say she's pretty much seized. Not the end of the world, because like I was saying, we're gonna go ahead and bore this over to the 354 size pistons. But hopefully it'll work out that way. So fingers crossed, guys. Let's keep pulling this thing apart. We're to the point where I'm going to have to pretty much just put you guys away for a bit, because it's gonna be in a spot I'm not going to be able to really show you anyway. So I got to go ahead and start taking the belt housing bolts out and the engine mount bolts after that. So it seems like my best bet is there's 2 bolts on the bottom side of the mount. We're going to go ahead and try detaching it from there and see what we get. As far as the rest of it goes, just gonna have to fight for it. She is a biggin. A very biggin. A very biggin. Sucks that she seized up though. Alright, let me put you guys away for a bit, let you charge up. So, as you can see, this cross member is gone. So I don't want to be underneath here too long. But I'll tell you what, it's really cool that they have the engine set behind this cross member. Though, I was worried I was going to have a hard time getting the exhaust apart. I don't think I have to worry about that. Oh man, so the only thing we need to do is there's 2 bolts on either side of the engine for the engine mounts. We just got to undo those. Once those are out of the way, we got to sneak our way over and see if we can't dismantle the cross member for the transmission, or unbolt the transmission from the cross member. Of course, I don't have any of my larger tools, so hopefully they don't fight me too much. And if that's the case, then yeah, we'll have to figure that out when we get there. But he was hoping we could pull the engine and transmission out at the same time so that we can stuff the transmission in the trunk. But just take a quick look at how well you guys can see it. But wow, that drive shaft is 1,000,000 miles long. 1,000,000 gazillion miles. It's a shame this thing is so rotted out, but I mean, I know somebody's saying I'm stealing an engine from a perfectly good car, but she's right splitting in half and everything, so the frame is about the only thing that's really not too terrible. But even that I wouldn't trust. She's been sitting on the ground for a good long time. Anywho, look at the steering. What in tarnation? That is bizarre. This thing must have just floated like a freaking, like, not even a land, yeah, like a Zeppelin or something. Jeez. All right, enough chat. Let's get this thing out of here. All right, guys, as you can see, it's a different day, and I just gotta say, love these vehicles here. Absolutely love them. And Bob was awesome. He pulled the car out of the horrible mess that was in. I couldn't get get to anything on this side. I couldn't get the car level. Anything I put underneath it would just sink down. So a big shout out to Bob for pulling that thing out for me and allowing me to actually be able to work on this thing safely. He doesn't have any of the more modern like tools here, no, you know, lifts and everything. So we are working with what we got. But where it was sitting back here, it was everything I was trying to get this thing to sit on was just sinking down. So all right, let's get to work. So it's been quite a while yet today. I found 4 bolts that actually dismantle the belt housing from the transmission. Unfortunately, I just can't get to one of them. So he gave me the okay to cut inside this trans tunnel, and let's see what happens. like I said, a whole day later. It took quite a bit of doing. And we're not going to take the transmission with us. You don't want that one anyways. But over here we have 1,000 pounds of Detroit iron. And people were saying, I think it was on another app, I don't know, but they were saying it's not HEMI. Chrysler firepower. Oh yeah, baby. This is really exciting. And I get the bell housing. And I got a few other things today. Unfortunately, I was going to get that visor, but he changed his mind today saying he's going to restore that car. So, anyways, let me go ahead and get his off and get this thing home. We are back. And we have some cool bumpers and stuff that we can throw on here. Unfortunately, I don't know if I already told you this or not, but we were going to be doing a visor, and last second he changed his mind about it, so no visor. But we have the, I don't know, gazillion pound engine that was floating around in the back of this truck on the way home. Sketchy. And boy, it is huge. It is such a big engine for what it is. Anyways, I got to get all the tools out, get this thing back there, because we need to go and pick up my crate that this is going to go into. And one of my jacks is still down there. But yeah, my plan is pretty straightforward. Just lift her up a smidgen, which is of course a technical term. Smidgen, and once it's out, like kind of dangling, we'll just drive the truck forward, and then we'll set it down on a tire and figure out how we're going to get it inside the garage afterwards. And I gotta say, you know, it'd be really cool to build this thing up. So I'm thinking she's going to be pretty expensive, but boy, my research showed that these were silver, but this is definitely painted orange. This was definitely an orange engine. So if you guys could tell me if they had a performance variation of this or something, fill me in why this is orange. I also really like the fact that they hid the spark plug wires on this one. I'm going to keep that the way it is because I love the fact that it's hidden. Out of sight, out of mind. All right, guys, let me go ahead and pull this thing out there so we can go and eat some lunch. And yeah, I need a haircut again. Why does hair grow so quickly? We're asking the important questions here on Lunar Outlaw's Garage today. All right, guys, let me get this thing out. Oh, look at that. She's home. She's on the ground. She's not where she needs to be. Needs to be in there, but hey, that's a lot of lens flare. There you go, guys. Let me go ahead and bring the truck and everything back where it needs to be, and I'll be right back.
Here in the morning, you can see by the dawn's light a HEMI in its unnatural habitat, waiting to pounce. We approach it quietly.
All right, guys, so I have a few things I need to take care of today. Yesterday was when I finished up the video, but I wanted to tell you all, guys, remember, always just have a lot of fun when you're doing things. Keep her shiny side up. Until the next time, remember, take care and God bless.